You're listening to the Immigration Lawyers Toolbox Podcast, the podcast that keeps your practice sharp and your clients happy. I'm your host, immigration lawyer John Khosravi, and every week we're bringing you insights, tips, and real-world conversations with top immigration attorneys and industry leaders. Whether you're here to grow your practice, stay on top of the latest trends, or get inspired, you're in the right place. Ready? Let's go. Hello, fellow Toolboxers. Welcome to episode number 417 of the Immigration Lawyers Toolbox Podcast. Great interview, one I've been wanting to do for a long time, just to talk with the gentleman, David K.S. Kim. I've seen him on many years practicing and sharing a lot of information about a lot of difficult stuff in EOIR, humanitarian, and much more. And so on Facebook, you kind of see people posting, they see you posting, you feel like you're friends. You may not even talk to them before. But I was really happy that I got a chance to talk with him. Unfortunately, I had to pick up the kid from school, so I had to cut the interview short, or else I would talk for an hour for him. A lot of information, a lot of experience there. So I really appreciate him taking the time. I'll definitely have him on again. David Kim, Mr. Kim, obviously might not know, but he practiced immigration law for many years. Top practitioner, really put his blood, sweat, and tears into practice, but became an immigration judge 2.5, 3 years ago. And unfortunately, was one of the great immigration judges that was let go by the Trump administration just recently. And so he's coming back to private practice. As soon as I saw him, I have to have him on the show, get to know him, and share information, just so you know that this, gold treasure chest of value in immigration practice here, who has experience not only this side of the bench, but behind the gavel, if you will. So thank you, David, so much. I think you'll enjoy this, and to get ready for the stress, the stress of immigration practice, especially if you do EOIR work. But let's talk about how to deal with this stress really quick. If you feel like you're running on fumes right now, you're not alone. Stress is practically baked into immigration law, but that doesn't mean we can't get better at handling it. On September 30th, Immigration is hosting a free webinar just for immigration professionals. You'll walk away with 4 research-backed tools to build confidence and manage overwhelm at work from performance psychology pro Nikola Milokovic. Do yourself a favor and head to get.eimmigration.com/events to save your seat. Again, that's get.eimmigration.com/events. And I want to thank Immigration by Cerenade for putting up on such a great seminar, because it is so vital and needed right now with everything that's going on. So I appreciate them, their support for the podcast, this episode, and also their sponsorship of their latest issue of the Immigration Lawyers Toolbox magazine, issue number 10. Please go to immigrationlawyerstoolbox.com and check it out there. Very easy, and check out back issues as well. They sponsored many of them to get to know how to practice better immigration law with colleagues from all these different areas, sharing a treasure chest. This podcast is treasure of all the information we're sharing. So you'll really enjoy it. And while you're there, check out the community tab on the website too. So if you're a U.S. barred attorney, fill in the information there. We'll add you to our private community page on Circle.so and help you get your practice next level. Help promote you in whatever way that you need. That's what we're here to do. Having said all that, none of the information here is intended as individual legal guidance. Please consult with an attorney about your case, but you all know that already. Let's get it started. Hi, David. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Hi, John. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. I've been wanting to talk to you years now because I've been following you on Facebook, and you always posted lovely photos of your family and stuff. So I feel like I know you very well, just from seeing your family.
Yeah, me too. Likewise. I've seen your Facebook posts of your lovely family as well.
I appreciate it. It's like seeing old friends, but it's bittersweet to have to connect with you after all that's happened. You left a lot of our Facebook groups because you joined EOIR, became an immigration judge, and that was a farewell 2 years ago. And now under Trump administration, this everything they're doing, obviously not working with it anymore. But let's, I guess, start. Can you tell us about like your background, how you got into immigration law? Then we'll just cover your path and see how it led to become an immigration judge.
Yeah, so I'm an immigrant myself. So I came to the U.S. When I was 16 years old from South Korea, and I finished 10th grade in South Korea. And because my English wasn't fluent at the time, I had to repeat 10th grade here. So I went to high school both in South Korea and the United States. And then after I graduated from college, I worked for about 8 years before going on law school. So law was not my first choice, but a lot of things happened in between. And once I entered law school, I did an asylum clinic. I went to Brooklyn Law School and Safe Harbor Project. And at the time, there was no DHS, but former legacy INS. So my a co-intern at the clinic wrote on the chalkboard 7 BLS, BLS meaning Brooklyn Law School, zero INS meaning we won all asylum cases. uh, so that was my first introduction to immigration law. I became interested in immigration law, and still wasn't decided as to what practice area I wanted to pursue after law school. So I had a multiple job offers already, but uh, I ended up doing clerkship at Second Circuit. That was my first job for 2 years. And that's when immigration appeals skyrocketed at circuit courts, especially Second and Ninth Circuits. And at Second Circuit, almost, I would say about at that time, maybe close to 40% of entire appeal docket composed of immigration
Wow.
appeals, petition for review. So now Second Circuit has separate unit for staff attorneys for immigration unit where staff attorney law clerks um, focus entirely on immigration appeals.
I
So
didn't know that.
I believe it's the same with the Ninth Circuit. And that's how heavy the immigration appeal docket is at Second Circuit and probably most likely Ninth Circuit. And so I was further exposed to immigration law through my clerkship with Second Circuit, and I ended up teaching. When I was a second year law clerk, I ended up teaching first year law clerks on immigration law, and I kind of became um, expert among all the judicial law clerks on immigration at the time, not officially, but unofficially. And then after my clerkship, had multiple job offers, various applied to DA's office in New York City, Manhattan, Bronx, DA's office. Oh, that was before law school. I'm sorry, I'm getting mixed up. So obviously, I took a second year clerkship over DA jobs. Anyway, so after clerkship, I had multiple job offers from big firms in Manhattan, also in-house position with a big South Korean company. They were heavily recruiting at the time because they needed someone fluent bilingual Korean English. And then there was a job vacancy posted on a New York Law Journal, which is the law journal read widely by legal practitioners in New York area, including judges. And also Ira Kurzban's job posting for associate,
Mhm.
which caught my eye because Ira Kurzban, everybody knows Ira Kurzban
Yeah.
if you practice immigration. So I applied for the job, flew to Miami, interviewed with him, and ended up getting the job. And I worked for Ira for 3 years. And then I came back to New York, ended up working for another law firm called Price and Coben, across the street from 26 Federal Plaza Immigration Court building. And after I worked there for about 5 years, and then I opened up my practice in Flushing, Queens. I did that for about 11 years, and then opportunity arose for IJ position apply. I got the job, so I started officially on September 24th, 2022. So it's been almost 3 years.
Have you primarily focused on EOIR related and humanitarian cases, or is it full
No,
service?
I did everything. All areas of immigration law: perm, H-1B, L-1As, L-1Bs, E-2s, E-1s, you name it. Business immigration law, as well as family-based
Mhm.
marriage cases, adjustment. Um, Also, obviously, removal defense, PI appeal, petition for review before U.S. Court of Appeals. I even did some a federal district court litigation suing government agencies under APA,
Mhm.
mandamus actions, etc. So you name it, I cover all the gamut.
And how was it? Because when you decided to go to the OIR and you got that position, you had a law firm 11 years, which was very respected. And I always see the wins you've had. You're hardcore lawyering and especially court stuff.
Yeah.
Like, how do you shut that down? Like, what does that's a lot of work, I
Uh,
imagine.
it was very exhausting process. So I had to sit down with every client, inform them I'm closing down my business because I became an immigration judge. So I returned their files as required by ethics rules, etc. and then I had to transfer my case to other attorneys. So I had a list of local immigration attorneys whom I trusted. I gave them a list of them. I told them you can
Hmm.
uh, choose any of them if you like. And then so I ended up transferring all the cases to other attorneys who are also close friends,
And so
so that they get protected.
I hear. And then how
Yeah.
was it the first days once you put on the road because you were on the other side so much, and it's frustrating. As an immigration lawyer, sometimes you're in court and you're like, "What's going on?" It's sometimes seems unfair and all that kind of stuff. How was it being on the
Yeah.
other side, and what perception comes there?
Well,
Perspective.
I wouldn't say the other side because as an immigration judge, you're not on the other side, but you're in the middle of the road. You have to be fair to both parties, right? You're no longer taking anyone's side. You're supposed to be neutral arbiter, right?
Hmm.
Uh, but I appeared before immigration judges all my professional life, so I didn't feel uncomfortable at all. It's just that my role changed, so I had to basically give both parties fair chance to present their case and hear arguments from both sides. So I didn't have any issue, but it's the first time I'm doing job as a judge. So, but they ER provided really extensive good training, every month. But I think initially I forget exactly how many weeks, but that's 6 to 8 weeks every day. And then after that, they have monthly trainings. They have annual trainings, and this training system has been implemented for over like what 3 to 4 decades already. So
Well, that's a great
it's
point,
really
man,
good
because
training.
the Trump administration is going to be bringing a lot of, JAG officers, military officers, and also they're opening it up for people with no experience and great lawyers to become judges. Um,
Right.
there's a worry because you were really established understanding immigration law and going to court and the complexities of the INA and all that kind of stuff. How difficult will it be someone has no experience all of a sudden and be on a 6 8 week program? What are your feelings about that?
Well, I think it depends on person. I have my colleagues who enter as the same class of, I guess, date of entry of September 2022.
Hmm.
There are four other judges who are still on the bench. I'm the only one who got fired, but uh, uh, one of them was former assistant district attorney. She had some immigration law experience. I think she did like some pro bono case when she was not a prosecutor,
Hmm.
and there was another attorney who did not have extensive experience in immigration law, but she was judge in different administrative tribunal. I forget which one, New York State. But she also did pro bono case, I believe asylum case. So she did some understanding, but very limited understanding. And they turned out to be excellent judges. And they rule fairly and reasonably. And so I think really it depends on a particular immigration judge candidate's professional background, temperament. It's not just about knowledge of immigration law, but the temperament. You
Hmm.
have to be have the right temperament for being a judge and neutral, and also ability to handle heavy dockets. Um, so I think military JAG lawyers coming in as temporary IJs. Only thing I'm worried about is they're only given, I believe, 2 week training, and they're only their position valid only up to 179 days. Although I heard it was renewable, but I think it depends case by cases. But overall, I'm worried because the amount of training they're going to receive in such a short period, it's not just enough.
It's just a lot you got to know. It's just so many different things in
Yeah.
immigration law.
Yeah, especially if someone does not have any knowledge or background in immigration law, it's gonna be so overwhelming.
Yeah, because a lot of
There's
stuff
no
doesn't even
doubt.
make sense. So you got to, it's like political. So you got to
Uh,
like, the laws in this year changed for this year and 245I. And it's like,
right, right. And immigration law evolves like on a daily
yeah,
basis, so you got to catch up.
you got to be into
And
it.
like this year, I think since the new administration came in beginning of this year, I believe board issued and dozens of precedents already,
Hmm.
and so
I mean, it's Thursday right
I
now.
think
Tomorrow's Friday. They're probably gonna pop out two or three more in
yeah,
24
yeah.
hours.
It's almost every week.
Yeah.
And and the new temporary IGs will obviously have to follow those new precedents.
Now, now, how was it
And
from
I
your viewpoint? Because I've talked with IJs before, and I do appreciate it because there's some law firms who just have a hustle where they just show up and get paid and they don't really help on the case. In your court,
right.
how often would you see lawyers that are ill prepared or just they're hustler lawyers where they just get paid to show up, but they don't really help their clients? Was that something that frustrate a lot of judges? Do they realize this person doesn't even know who their client is?
Oh yeah, that's a common discussion among all the judges, and we're really disappointed by these counsels. And even gave some of them lectures on the record, literally telling them, "You're trying to throw your client under
Wow.
bus, and your client may file bar complaint against you." So, um, for example, they asked for last minute continuance when the attorney didn't file anything, and I put the respondent on the stand through court certified interpreter. Your attorney claims that you did not provide any documents to him. Is that true? In some cases, client said no. That's a lie. I provide all the documents. And then the ACC, obviously opposed continuance, but I gave one last very short continuance um, for the counsel to submit additional documents and get ready for trial. But not very rarely, but other cases, in majority cases or solemn cases, the first question I asked the counsel is, are there any changes to I-589? Almost all of them said no. And I say, are you sure? Okay. But I cannot have the response swear as to accuracy of their I-589 unless I'm confident that all information contained in I-589 is up to date and correct. And I would say about 80% of the time, attorneys did not update I-589 properly. So that further delays hearing because what I used to do is have the respondent sworn in and then go over information that are most frequently updated, such as social security number, current address, current telephone number, address history, employment history, parents' information, sibling information. Those information almost always change,
Yeah.
right? So I just orally amend on the record, and in some cases, I tell attorney that if there's too many changes, I cannot waste time doing this,
Yeah.
which is the attorney's job, not judge's job, right?
Exactly.
So I give show continuous to a file, final amended, properly amended at 589. I didn't give continuous in a lot of those cases, very very few, but that's just to give you an example. So I guess news spread around within the immigration bar in New York area. Judge Kim is very tough when it comes to procedure.
Yeah.
So you better get your act together. And so and by the time I went off the bench, I guess I was terminated. Almost all attorneys followed my direction and did all the paperwork properly. So
Well, that I mean, they got to
so
do their job. I mean, holding them to it's not a high standard to do your job, but I see like I do a lot of marriage
right,
green
right,
card cases, and some have a silent pending, and I see like the bare bones sometimes signing they did or the things they said. It's obvious they didn't even talk with the client when they just filed something. I'm
right,
like, dude, you're hurting this person. It's going on the record. I spend some time at least talking with them. It's always very disappointing seeing that.
right. So if I don't do that, I could have simply just swear the respondent's accuracy of I-589 and just take testimony. But it turns out that the certain information I provided is not accurate or incorrect, or goes to it's material to the respondent's asylum claim. Then the respondent will be prejudiced on a BI appeal and petition for review with the circuit court.
Yeah.
So and then the respondent will find out only after the fact through another attorney, new attorney, who may file a Lozada claim against
Yeah.
former attorney, etc. And I filed tons of Lozada a motion to reopen when I was in private practice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How was the bandwidth of being because it's the EOI judges have like a million cases literally, so it's like it's overwhelming. How did that compare to private practice? So were you able to get home at 6 or 7? Because I know you from a few seen your background, like you're at about 10 o'clock at night working. Did it get
Yeah.
easier or is it
When I was in
still?
private practice, I probably worked really sometimes midnight, but I never went home probably before like 8 or 9 usually,
Mhm.
which caused me a heart attack, I believe. Ended up having open heart bypass. After that, I changed that. So, and that's another reason I applied for IJ position because although it's a very busy job, I thought I would have more quality of life. But um, after I became a judge, it was better than when I was in private practice, but still a lot of work.
Mhm.
Uh, Very overwhelming for most people. I could handle it without a problem because I'm used to handling really heavy docket.
Yeah.
But I still went home late. My wife complained, and it's not like 9 to 5 job. Most judges don't leave by 5. They still a little bit after.
Yeah.
So me and this other judge were only ones staying probably past the usual business hours of 6 p.m.
The law
Uh,
is the
so
thing. So, I
yeah,
gotta run myself, but I'd love to have you on again and talk about just more because you're a wealth of information. But really quick, like what is your game plan right now? I know it's all happened really fast. Then I'm sure they just all notified you without any
yeah,
background of this is happening. Uh,
right. So only thing I can do is to go back to private practice or teach. And I already had multiple interviews with reputable law firms or partners in
yeah,
position in the works. I hope to make final decision by next week. So,
very.
and I received so many words of support through LinkedIn, email, text, phone calls. I really appreciate it. I'm almost shocked at how much support I'm getting from everyone,
Well, we missed
the
you. I
legal
remember when you
community.
announced
I-
that you're leaving the Facebook group. So I was like, oh no, we lost.
Yeah,
I was happy that you're going to be and you are at least like somebody who's really knows what they're
right,
doing is there. Not that the rest of the judges
right.
don't like that, but it's like knowing person has a good heart and stuff. It was really a happy situation. But I stay on the line
Yeah,
for a minute to go off. But again, David, thank you so much for coming on.
no problem. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening, and thank you, David Kim, for coming on the show again. I'm kind of brokenhearted I couldn't ask more questions, but I know we'll do it again. Your participation was key, David. I appreciate that, and I hope you enjoyed that. There's a lot of good people behind the bench. You get frustrated sometimes with ICE and with EOIR, and you're like, "What's going on here?" But they're feeling it too. They're getting pushed on multiple ends, and they're trying to do their best to make ties. I mean, there's some awful people there, just to be frank, but there's some awful immigration lawyers. That's why I made sure to mention because I talk with good IJs too, and they tell me, I guess some of these lawyers come, they have no idea what they're doing or they don't care, and so if I'm gonna be slinging mud, I gotta sling it everywhere, and they know it's like it's a reality. It's a hard practice area, and not everyone takes it seriously. But those who do is much appreciated. Just in anything that you do, putting your all into it is so important. It's really what we're here on the earth to do. Choose a path and just put our put our value and virtues into like doing it the best we can the best we can. That's really the simplest way to put it. So thank you for doing that. Thank you all for listening. By listening to this, you're doing that because it shows you're spending this extra time to want to listen and learn from experience of others and to become a better immigration attorney. So I appreciate you as well. If you want to join our community page, I got to keep talking about it. Go to community on immigrationlawyerstoolbox.com, click on the community tab. Until next one, have a good one. Bye bye. If you like this episode, follow us on Instagram. Our handle is Immigration Lawyers Toolbox, where we post the latest statistics, tips, and more. And stay tuned for more from the Immigration Lawyers Toolbox podcast.